see it.
Oh, wow.
So David, why don't you tell the kids and everybody here about your ranch, what you've done, your vision, and this gizmo.
Well, this kid, it's really neat to see you guys. What grade are you guys in? Fifth grade. Oh, perfect. Well, on our ranch, we do all the fifth grade students from the Title I schools. And Title I schools are children. And so I'm just used to talking to fifth grade kids. I'm so glad to see all of you here. There's so many things that you can learn at your age that might get passed over later on. So it's just an ideal out of fifth grade. Oh my gosh, here comes a whole bunch more. Would be nice to see. And we started doing conservation education programs 43 years ago. That's probably older than your mom and dad. And we do a lot of different programs. But what I'm going to show you this morning is a little bit about this property, this ranch. It's 5,500 acres. It's pretty large. It's considered to be the 11th largest piece of land that's set aside in the state of Texas. If you took out Big Bend National Park, it would move us a lot closer to number 1. At any rate, when we came there 43 years ago, all the people that lived in that part of the world said, Bamberger, I don't know why you bought this old place. You just bought the worst piece of land that's in Blanco County, Texas. And I thought that was a tremendous compliment. And that sounds, you know, if you buy something that nobody else wants because it's so bad, an old wrecked car or a house that's tumbling over, if you buy something that's kind of a wreck, the price is real low. And I looked and looked and looked to try to find the worst ranch I could find in that part of Texas. So when that Soil Conservation Service and those neighbors told me that I was kind of crazy, that I had bought the worst piece of land in Blanco County, I thought, rapture, man. I thought, that's wonderful, I did a good job. But why I did it, kids, I wanted to see if man, you and I, that has caused a lot of damage to Mother Nature and to the wildlife and the productive ability of our farms and ranches, I wanted to see if by using good conservation senses and good conservation principles, if I could bring that old beat up piece of land that nobody wanted, that was abandoned for us, if I could bring it back to a level of productivity that would support not only Mother Nature, but a food supply for cattle or goats or sheep, horses or what have you. And this story is kind of interesting. When we started, I always fellowed with the Audubon Society. And we did, and they continue to help me today, Bastrop Audubon, Travis Audubon, San Antonio Audubon. And we started doing bird counts 3 times a year, 39 years ago. We continue to do that. Now it's actually handled by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. Back then, we had only 48 species of birds on year-round bird counts. Back then, there was not a drop of water on this place. Back then, the soil conservation people that worked with us said it would take 41 acres of this kind of land to support just a cow. And we began doing this conservation work, and what do you know? Every year, as we made a little more progress, the bird count started to go up. We went up to 50, and to 70, and 80, and 100. And our bird counts
on our last count, we are at 218 from 48. And it went up just as we got more grasses. We're gonna see this in a minute. You couldn't have birds if just, they might have nesting material, but they had to have something to drink. They had to have something to eat. And we didn't have water, we didn't have seeds, we didn't have insects, because the place was a barren, bare landscape. A lot of times when we do little programs, we have pictures to show all this, but I don't have those today. So this restoration of habitat, we went from 48 bird species to 218, and that gets, we'll have more, we'll add on again this year. We now can pasture a cow not to 41 acres, but to 18. So in effect, we almost doubled that 5,500 acres with productive ability. Next thing that happened, 2.5 years after we changed this condition right here on this property, which was, tree is called, common name is cedar. It's actually, scientifically, it's called ash juniper, but we're gonna talk about it, call it cedar. And that's what everybody wants to call it. The cedar trees came in and took over this 5,500 acres. It was wall to wall. It looked like this, except some of it was 30 foot tall. And there wasn't any of this beautiful grass you see here. And this wonderful grasses that you're seeing over here that were brought in today. Oh boy, I'm kind of jealous of those because those look pretty nice. So as we changed that, now the seed-eating birds, this is not mature, but look at the seed-eating bird to eat this yellow Indian grass here, have something to eat. Down in the bottom here, there's insects, and the bird that has to peck and scratch. He can scratch and peck down in here and get himself something to eat. And both of them can fly off to a creek or a lake or a pond that didn't exist 43 years ago and get a drink of water. All of those things, all those good things happened because of habitat restoration. And the easy way to say that, kids, is changing that condition here, which didn't support the birds, it didn't support the cattle or the goats or the sheep or the horses or humans. Replace that condition with this beautiful condition here. Now what makes this thing function and work?